You're good.
Hello everyone. First off, welcome to the 40 Acres and thank you for watching this video. I'm Hui and I'm honored to be giving you all the words of wisdom. 4 years more or less, and some more for a few of us, just because we love the university so much. For me, 4 years ago, I remember getting ready for orientation. 4 years ago, I remember envisioning of what being at the #1 nursing school in Texas and the #1 US city to live in would be like. Completely forgot that pollen is a real threat here. Little did we know we'd be living through major historical events in just 4 years. So, I'd like to do a recap of our collective experiences, celebrate our diversity, and share with you on how we're going to continue to change the world. At orientation, where we first realized that we're a small community in a college at a university with 50,000 other students. For the undergrads, we head into what I call the notorious trios: chemistry, microbiology, and pharmacology. Some other challenging classes include research methods and leadership in healthcare. We struggle through countless hours of tutoring, re-listening to lectures, studying together at the library until we were tired, and sometimes questioning of why we chose such a vigorous program. Wanting to be academically challenged and being academically challenged, I can tell, are two very different things. But we persevere. How? Looking around us, our friends, families, faculty, and staff believe in what we are capable of. And most importantly, we believe in ourselves, knowing that we can make it to the other side. Then COVID-19 hit. Hard. We felt like we were robbed of the college experiences. The norms changed, and something in us changed too. We moved our interactions online and became Zoomers, spending our days in between classes to stand at the doorsteps, breathing the outdoor air for just a moment. Listening for news of testing and vaccines, of nurses and other healthcare professionals trying to save lives in their own. Baking bread and making froth coffee, hanging out with family members, we hung on to the hope for the day to be back in each other's physical presence. That 2020 summer, though, was a summer of deep reflection and connecting from afar on how we can move towards a more racially just world. We learned about how COVID-19 affected different populations disproportionately. And we witnessed how unprepared and underfunded our public health system is, and how nurses can be at the forefront in re-strengthening this public health system. Unemployment and fear of what can happen to our loved ones brought a lot of stress for us. Yet, we transformed those energy into our nursing classes, bringing a desire to uplift, to have compassion for one another, and to challenge the status quo. So we as nursing students were among first on campus to resume in-person instruction with full-on N95s, face shield, gowns, and gloves. Of course, this would not have happened without a team effort, including the admin staff in securing PPEs, COVID-19 test kits, and implementing policies that kept us safe. For some, remaining virtual was a sensible option. We changed research protocols, kept a well-cleaned space, and communicated the best health guidelines as we received them. It was scary, yet we knew we have each other and a purpose to fulfill. That is to become excellent nurses for our patients. We show up with our minted burn orange scrubs, stethoscope, and a pocket full of hopes. We learned the head-to-toe assessments, clinical skills, disease management, and what is considered expected versus not expected. We learned also about the ethics of healthcare and research about the impacts of COVID. The constant hand washing, stressing over why our daily analysis did not work, practicing in simulation lab until the building closed, and rewatching bloopers from our video performing exams brought up mixed feelings. Tiring and joy simultaneously, filling the empty hallways at wee hours with our echoing laughter. The days start to look brighter though, with major news of vaccine developments happening right here on campus. Decades of research is paying off dividends. I think you all remember our walk through Light the Lamb, also known as the White Coat Ceremony. This was a turning point for us as we pledged to provide humanistic and patient-centered care before entering clinical settings. Filled with excitement and representing science and humanity, knowing that we would soon have our first clinical day interacting with first real patients, besides practicing these skills on our stuffed animals and on our loved ones. But hey, we all love for free little checkups. Our day started to look very different from across campus, waking up at 5 a.m. to getting off at clinicals at 10 p.m., struggling to balance school and social life, learning about patient stories, and then spending 5+ hours on one concept map at a time. Caring for patients across the spectrum, both as a student nurse and future nurse practitioners, requires us to collaborate with other professions to ensure the best outcomes. The quote, "Hi, my name is blank blank blank, and I'll be your student nurse for the day," felt more and more normal each time. Along the way, we've weaved advocacy into our everyday lives, reminding ourselves as patients' amplifier, from catching a change in patients' health to testifying in front of policymakers about public health issues. We do it for the patients. We question the answers just as much as we get answers to our questions. Some of us turn to research for the next evidence, some of us student solidarity out in the communities, and some of us uplifted our neighbors through our part-time jobs. We provided thousands of hours in administering the COVID-19 vaccines, 900+ hours of clinical rotations, and I lost count, synthesizing research for best practices. It is also important to recognize the current diversity among us and what additional work needs to happen. I always notice that it is the differences, the moments it doesn't feel right, that drive us forward and catch our attention. The rapid up and down of heart rhythm, the crackles in the lungs, and the changes in the skin that alert and inform us of what to do next. Not only within the nursing and the medical sense, but also in our everyday lives. I see the differences among each of us and the diversity, and I appreciate all of those things. So I encourage you all to look for these differences, explore them with curiosity and genuine care, and appreciate for those moments. There are also differences in which they are the byproducts of social injustices, the inequities that shouldn't exist in the first place, of why certain groups don't have access to food and housing, nor access to safe environments where they can be who they are, or why spaces don't accommodate for people with disabilities. Go beyond the obvious. Ask why. As future healthcare providers, it is our job to bridge these preventable social injustices. Let me paint you a story. I had the opportunity to complete capstone at a community clinic run by our own nursing school. One of the innovative parts of the health intake processes is asking patients their social history. I vividly remember of one patient who couldn't seek additional health care after an initial appointment because they had lost their job. We found out their barriers by simply asking for what's going on in their lives. For another patient, they had to go through 3 different clinics to seek necessary care. And so if we had had a health system that talks to each other, that patient can easily navigate and access affordable care, that social support is integrated, we wouldn't have fragmented health outcomes. So we, as the future nurses, have the capacity to be socially conscious, take into account social determinants of health, and advocate for a better system where everyone has the right to excellent health. And so now I just want to take a moment to express our collective gratitude. I have my parents who's traveled all the way from Vietnam, and my brother who will soon be here in person, as well as my own breakfast club, my group of nursing friends. Just like all of you all here have loved ones that will soon be in person celebrating with you. They have all been our rock since day one, And so without them continuously reminding us and supporting our passion, we wouldn't be able to stand here. To our loved ones, faculty and staff, student organizations, and others who can't be here today that mean a whole lot to each of us. Thank you. So now I'm going to do a little bit of an affirmation exercise. Feeling like an imposter is common. I felt too, and expecting to feel it a little bit in the workplace. But I found these helpful as I read them in the morning. So I'm gonna read to you all my favorite affirmations. I'm proud of myself. I'm capable of handling challenges that come my way. It's perfect to be imperfect. I am worthy. I deserve to be here. I'm beautiful inside and out. I deserve love and respect. I will practice safe and compassionate care for my patients. Being myself is enough. And my future is bright and full of successes. What starts here changes the world, and we will change the world. Congratulations, friends, and hook 'em.